panels. We've had really great congratulatory remarks, and added on to that was the excellent speech by Justice Michael Kirby. So we're actually now, as a moderator, the most important thing is to make sure that things move on time, but we're already a little bit late. So we have two panels actually this morning. First, our Sages Group panel, and then immediately after this, we have the ambassadorial panel before the luncheon. So I'll try to manage so that we can finish by 12:30. So we'll run this Sages Group panel for about an hour. Nothing formal, but we have Ambassador Bob King. So let me just say hi to Bob. Yeah, good morning here, but good evening to you. It's really great to see you. We wish you were here, but perhaps next time.
I wish I were there with you too.
Yeah. Ambassador Bob King was when I was the ambassador for human rights for the ROK, he was my counterpart in the United States, and he gave me he taught me a lot of ways to, how to handle the UN situation. So I remain grateful for all the advice and friendship that he's provided for me during my ambassadorship. So without further ado, let me first turn to Marzuki and maybe in the reverse order, because Michael is just at 20 minutes of speech. So if you don't mind, let's just reminisce over the past several years. It's our first time getting together in nearly 7 years. Justice Kirby talked about the genesis of the COI and the contents of the COI. But quite frankly, I have to say that it's a little disappointing because the UN and the international community has not been able to follow up in terms of the implementation of the lot of really great recommendations that were put forward by the Commission of Inquiry report. What do you say to that, and how do you reflect back?
Thank you, Yoon-hoon. Two things. One, of course, is the changed international situation, which, alongside the critical situation in North Korea, the global community had to share its attention to other flashpoints across the globe. And this has, in a way, diminished the attention, although one has to take note that the issue of North Korea has a special status within the United Nations system. In view of the fact that the Commission of Inquiry's report led to the establishment of a mechanism in Seoul to address the human rights situation in a much closer way to the situation in North Korea. Secondly, I think there has been a lull, rightly, over the past maybe 5+ years. And that goes back to all of us, actually. There is now an imperative to undertake a massive effort to refocus and recenter the attention of the United Nations on this particular issue of the human rights situation in North Korea. And let me perhaps just quickly try to redefine North Korea, not as just a member of the United Nations, but the nature of the regime being an army with a state, not the other way around. And to confront an army, one has to disarm it. And disarming it is to disarm its ideology. And rightly so, this new initiative to undertake a massive information initiative would be the best way to confront the ideology of the North Korean system. And that is why I think it's heartening that the government, as we met yesterday, as Justice Kirby was mentioning. The President Yoon, has admirably and very substantively undertaken to articulate the government's commitment to promote human rights, re-promote and to redrive the effort to promote human rights in North Korea.
Sonja, would you like to follow up on what
Yes,
Marzuki
indeed.
was saying?
I would add few more thoughts on, first of all, on general international context.
I think you need to put the mic closer.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it doesn't
yeah.
work. Sorry. So I would add few comments on general international context, which has been defined as geopolitical depression, which brought to stalemate and thus also derogation of human rights generally. And the system of the protection of human rights also is facing a lot of challenges. We have also a new division line between liberal systems and illiberal systems, which is also affecting the international relations generally. So North Korea is not the only problem, but in the meantime, especially during the COVID, North Korea has totally closed down and sort of broke up any relations with anybody. So it takes, I would say, a new effort to, as Mr. Marzuki said, to redefine and to find a new, how should say, novel approach to the North Korean problem as such. In my view, it would be necessary, first of all, to re-engage in the dialogue, which should include not only the ones that have already been, but also, I think, regional partners, because North Korea is not only the problem for the South Korea, generally it is the problem of the region. As international relations develop in the directions of regionalization, I think that would be a very important aspect of looking at North Korea and make all these neighboring countries or the countries of the region engage in dialogue with North Korea in order to show that things can be dealt differently. But I would also like to remind of the initiative that South Korea had initiated many years ago, which was about founding the Organization for Security and Cooperation, similar to one which we have in Europe plus America and Canada. And I think it would be worthwhile to re-engage in this initiative. Maybe the time has come because world affairs will not be the same as they have been in the past. So I do sort of think that South Korea has to engage in very intensive diplomacy in the region, sort of inviting it to sort of engage in the similar way. First of all, on two levels. One is denuclearization, and the other one is a dialogue which would lead to opening of North Korea. And if we sort of create this new context, that will lead to context for the respect of the human rights. Just talking about the human rights is not enough because they are connected to all these issues together. So I think it's very important to have this comprehensive approach.